Welcome to the Competence Charisma model. I created it to describe the two broad skill families that are required for success in IT careers. For the purpose of this model, competence is your technical skills. It's your ability to perform the tasks of your job. If you're a server administrator, for example, it's your ability to configure and manage Linux or Windows or Unix. If you're a developer, it's your ability to produce clean, efficient code or audit code produced by AI. If you work on the help desk, it's your ability to troubleshoot and solve problems with the systems your customers use. Charisma, on the other hand, is how easy you are to work with. Charisma is your ability to understand, get along with, and influence people. Both skill families are essential for your career success, or if you're a business owner, for the success of your business. You must have competence, the ability to design and build systems that work as expected, and to solve technical problems so your users can do their work. You must also have charisma, the trait of being easy to work with. More on that in a moment. Compassionate Geek's online customer service training helps your team be easy to work with. In fact, this article is based on lesson CS01-12 in our course, Customer Service Secrets of Successful IT Pros. Enroll your team today. There's a link in the description right below. Now, let's take a look at the Competence Charisma model. Each quadrant in the model represents one of four possible combinations of competence and charisma. In the lower left quadrant are people who lack both competence and charisma. They've given up on themselves. They've given up on society. They tend to blame everybody else for their problems. They have an external locus of control. They're not willing to accept responsibility for themselves. They're what we would probably call losers, and you don't want to be in that lower left quadrant. In the lower right quadrant are people who have great charisma, but no competence. These are people who are great fun to be around, but they don't bring anything of value to the relationship. In college, they were the people who were a lot of fun to party with, but they never showed up for class. Or in today's world, in an extreme case, they're a con artist, and you don't want to be in the lower right quadrant either. In the upper left quadrant are people who are highly competent, but lack charisma. In our world in IT, this might be that brilliant coder who stays in an office and everyone avoids them because they're so difficult to deal with. I worked at a radio station where the chief engineer was absolutely brilliant. This guy could tune an antenna system, he knew audio, he knew RF. He was also gruff and disagreeable. He was argumentative and even had bad personal hygiene. We finally couldn't work with him anymore. We let him go and replaced him with someone who was technically competent and also easy to work with. I think of great athletes who perform brilliantly on the gridiron, the baseball diamond, the pitch, or the basketball court, but when the game is over, they get in trouble with the law for antisocial behavior. One of the problems with people who are in this quadrant is that they underestimate the impact of their bad behavior on their coworkers, bosses, and customers, and they overestimate their value to the organization. You want to be really, really careful about falling into that upper left quadrant. That's where arrogance comes into play, and that can get you into trouble. A warning sign that you may be in the upper left quadrant is when you start to believe your employer or client needs you more than you need them. Finally, we have the success quadrant. In the upper right quadrant are the leaders in society. One name that comes to my mind is Mary Barra, the CEO of General Motors. She came up through the ranks as a technical person working as an automotive engineer. She rose to her current position of great prominence because of her technical skills and her ability to understand, get along with, and influence people. Another is Lisa Su, the chair and CEO of AMD. She also came up through the ranks as an electrical engineer at IBM and Texas Instruments, in addition to her time at AMD. She has a bachelor's, master's, and PhD in electrical engineering from MIT. She has both an extreme technical knowledge and a knack for working with people. Another name is Tim Cook, who took over Apple after Steve Jobs. He has a degree in industrial engineering, came up through the ranks at IBM and other tech companies before joining Apple. Like Mary Barra and Lisa Su, he is highly competent and knows how to understand, get along with, and influence people. Here's how you can use the Competence Charisma model in your own life. Pause for a moment and think about where you are on it. Now, it doesn't matter where you are, but just think about where you are. Now, if you're like most of us, you're probably somewhere above and to the right of the center. The question to ask yourself is this: what am I doing every minute of every hour of every day to be a little bit better at my technical skills, my competence? And what am I doing every minute of every hour of every day to be a little bit better at my people skills, my charisma? Another way to think about it is to ask yourself what you're doing to be better at the tasks of your life, your competence, and what are you doing to improve your relationships with the important people in your life, your charisma. Recognize that as you work on improving your competence and your charisma, you're occasionally going to backslide, to paraphrase John Wesley. And you're going to fall down. You're going to drop the ball on something. You might backslide on your competence by misconfiguring some device. You might backslide on your charisma by being sarcastic with a coworker or family member. It'll happen, and when it does, you have two choices. You can either dwell on it and live in that bad place, or you can reflect on what happened, learn from your mistake so that it's not a failure. It's simply a mistake. Dust yourself off, pick yourself up, and get back into striving toward the upper right corner of the upper right quadrant. Now, the other thing that you need to know about the competence charisma model is that as soon as you get to the upper right corner of the upper right quadrant, guess what happens? It moves. And so forgive the cliche, but this is not about the destination. It's about a journey of continual self-improvement. In his book, One Small Step Can Change Your Life, The Kaizen Way, Robert Maurer talks about the process of continual self-improvement, always striving to be a little bit better today than you were yesterday and a little bit better tomorrow than you are today. That's one of the things that differentiates the people who operate at a higher level from the people who operate at an average level. Do you want to be great or even just better tomorrow than you are today? Make a commitment to self-examination, to continual self-improvement on both your technical competence and your charisma or people skills. Be sure to press the thumbs up button and subscribe to this channel. Want more? You'll find tips and training on IT customer service, teamwork, and leadership, including this lesson at CompassionateGeek.com.